All right, guys, welcome back to this second week of a journey to one Bitcoin, where I sit with you every single week and I do my Bitcoin buys. I DCA or dollar cost average every single week into Bitcoin, and I want you guys to follow along if that's what you want to do. If you want to invest in Bitcoin, if you believe that Bitcoin is a wealth building tool and you're in it for the long haul, I want to help you stay accountable, stay disciplined, and we can do it together and hold each other really accountable every single week with this stacking program. So just to give you guys a reminder, last week I input my income, my expenses, my spending, etc., all for the month of May into my calculator. And again, guys, if you have your own calculator, great. If you don't and want to use something like mine, I have a link down below in the description that you guys can click on and get your own calculator there. Okay. And so after inputting all of my numbers, I got a leftover monthly cash flow of $1,295.40 for the month of May. So I've decided I'm going to invest 100% of that into Bitcoin for this month. I don't want to put my money anywhere else right now. So this is going to be my monthly investment, and then I obviously want to do this once a week, right? I want to do a once a week purchase, so I'm just going to do a quick division here by 4, which is going to be $323.85 every single week. That is what I will be investing. Again, today is $323.85 to get to my total for the month of $1,295, right? I'm sure you guys saw that Bitcoin did run up today. It hit all-time highs this week, and it's in kind of a price discovery mode situation. Obviously, that does affect how much total Bitcoin I can accumulate for the month. I think last week I was a little bit higher than this, at like a 0.12. This week it's at 0.117. In all honesty, guys, I really don't care. Whether it goes up or down, it doesn't affect me, right? Because if it goes up, great, I'm making money on my investments. If it goes down, great, my dollar goes further when I invest in Bitcoin and I can get a little bit more. So for me, it's a win-win. I hope for you it's the same, because again, guys, whether I buy it today at $100,000 or $110,000 and it drops down to 90,000, is that going to make a difference in the long run? Right? When I'm looking at Bitcoin 5-10 years down the line and it's worth $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, do I care if I bought it at 100,000 versus 90,000? No. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a difference, right? I 5x, I 10x, I 20x my money. I don't care if I bought it at 100,000 or 90,000. What difference does it make? It's so minuscule that it doesn't matter. I know in the short term, when you look at it from day to day or even week to week, when we jump in here, it's going to be like, wow, you bought it at a 111 and it dropped back down to 100, 102. That was dumb. You might think that for a few weeks, but I'll tell you right now, 100% of people right now, because it's at an all-time high in price discovery, 100% of people are in profit right now with Bitcoin, right? So I'll tell you, I'll give you guys a backstory. At one point, I bought at around the $40,000 range, about 2 or 3 years ago, the $40,000 range, and it dropped down to 20, right? I rode that whole wave down. I kept investing. All I did was I brought down my weighted average, right, over time from the 40. But does and during that time, the 40,000 seemed like a stupid purchase. It seemed like a stupid investment. Today, it's sitting at 110,000. Does that investment at 40 seem that dumb anymore? Absolutely not. I doubled my money, right? Because all I did was I held on. And actually, I was able to bring down the average weight of that investment by continuing to invest as it fell. So I didn't get scared at the 40 when it dropped to 20 and stop investing. No, I just kept putting in at the 20. And guess what? That $40,000 average just kept dropping to 38 to 35 to 34. And now today, if I look at it, it's average weight of 30, maybe 37, 36, whatever. And Bitcoin is worth 111,000. So realistically, I almost tripled my money. Right? So you have to think about Bitcoin in a long-term mindset. This is what this is. This is a long-term game, 5 to 10 years. But if you stay consistent, you will build wealth. You will accelerate your path to financial freedom, to early retirement, to living the life that you want to live. So don't be afraid by these week-to-week fluctuations. I just want to make that very clear. Because next week I might jump on this call and Bitcoin might be worth $90,000 and we might be in the red. I do not care. I will invest again. And I hope you guys follow along and do the same and ride this wave with me. And we hold each other accountable and we make sure that we get there together. That's my goal for this channel, is I want to help people build wealth. I want to help people retire early. And to be honest with you, this is the best vehicle to do it, in my opinion. So, like I said, I'll be here every week with you guys doing it. And if you need any help, financial help, coaching, whatever the case may be, to help get your expenses down, your spending down, find ways to make more income, etc., message me, DM me. I'm happy to jump on a call with any of you and discuss your expenses and see what we can do to find a way to get you to allocate more to Bitcoin without hurting your lifestyle, right? In a responsible way that you can do for the long term. So just want to make that super clear that I don't care if Bitcoin goes up or down. I'm just going to be here every week buying. So Bitcoin did go down a little bit of how much we can invest this month, but again, I'm just going to keep going. So we established that I'm going to invest $1295.40 for this month. For the week, it's going to be $323.85, right? So let's go ahead and make this Bitcoin buy today. I'm going to jump over to Kraken. I'm going to go ahead and make my buy. 323.85. Order type, like I said, I love to do the custom order. I'm not going to buy at the market rate, and again, the reason being is because the exchanges like to charge a markup, right? They want to make a spread on Bitcoin's volatility, and so they don't give it to you on the actual market price. They'll give it to you at a bit of a markup. Okay, so here it is, 323.85. I'm going to hit review, and Bitcoin's sitting at 109,400. I personally always like to drop this down just a bit. I'm going to drop it down 2% for today to see if we catch a little bit of a swing down. Maybe someone wants to sell it at 107. They're in the profit and they want to take some profits out, and so they might sell this a little bit. I might catch that. So I like to drop this down, between 1 to 2%. No more than that. Again, I'm not trying to catch any huge swing downwards because I'm here every week, right? So to me, it's 1 to 2% is more than enough. I'm going to drop this at 2% because I did see it at the all-time high, and I do think there'll be a slight pullback here at some point. So I'm going to review that. Again, guys, $479 is the fee. The total amount that I'm actually investing in Bitcoin is $319, and again, my total, which is my budget, right, is $323.85 every week. So I have to account for these fees. So there it is right there, $479, and that's my total. So I'm going to confirm that. And my custom order is set. Now that the order is set, what I want to do is jump into the accumulation log and start plugging in some of this information. So first things first, I'm going to plug in the purchase date over here. So today is 5/23/2025, Friday. The exchange that I use is not Gemini. I use Kraken for this purchase. The invested amount was $323.85. The exchange fee I plugged in was $4.79. and then it'll auto calculate to this 319.06, which is what we actually invested into Bitcoin for this week, right? And then here you'll set your target price, or the amount that you purchase Bitcoin at. Okay, if you don't do the set the target prices on a custom order, you don't necessarily have to mess with this further. Once you have the order filled, you'll just update this number to whatever the Bitcoin price was at when it actually filled. So for right now, I'm going to keep it at 107,212 because that was our target price, and we'll see within this week if it fills. So that's really it, guys. It's really straightforward. You're only going to plug in the information into the cells that are orange if you're using my sheet. If you're using your own sheet, all you need to do is just make sure that you're calculating how much did you invest. Be sure that you know your exchange fees, and you're seeing the actual amount that was invested towards Bitcoin, and then you'll see the realistic number here of the amount of Bitcoin that was purchased after exchange fees. So really straightforward and easy stuff. So that's about it, guys, for this week. Next week we'll jump back on. We'll make sure that our order filled. We'll make sure that we're moving forward. If it didn't fill, again, I'll just force fill it wherever it's at, and we'll keep going. We'll place our next investment, and we'll keep getting to our goals. So just real quick, I want to show you guys percentage to goal. We're at 6%. We're getting there little by little, and I'm confident we're going to get there if we just keep stacking. Don't worry about the number. Don't worry about the value. Don't worry about the price. Just keep saving in Bitcoin every week, and you will reap the rewards. And another really cool thing, take a look at this bar graph here. It's growing steadily. So we're getting to our target, and we're almost there. See you guys next week.